folks. Just a friendly reminder that all shows on the Madness Comic Network are produced by their individual hosts and in no way reflect the opinions of the network as a whole. The statements in the following broadcast are not necessarily the opinions of the Madness Comic Network, its staff, sponsors, or contributors. This show is rated TVMA, as are all of them and all those other letters. Viewer discretion is highly advised. And, just do what Doc says. Read that again. Peace, everybody.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting. But also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
There it is. There it is. That's some Addie Marie art. That's a little time lapse. Look, the green hat's working on the green screen. I like it. I like it. I didn't think it was going to work. Here we go. Welcome to FreeWheeling Friday. You guys know what we do. Bring people out, talk about stuff, move on to the next show tomorrow. The guy we're bringing out tonight does a crap ton of his own shows, so I'm pretty sure we're going to spend a little time talking about his YouTube channel and the stuff that he does. Welcome him right now. Ryan, come on out here and introduce yourself, man.
Well, it's good to see you, Pops. It's been a while, so it's good to see you, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You
So
bet.
for those of you who have no idea what's going on, my name is Ryan of And I Quote Channel. I host and produce the channel where we embrace the nerd within you. So basically, if you're into movies, if you're into TV shows, if you love comics, if you like books, words on a page, we interview independent writers, independent publishers. I've interviewed actors, writers, producers, all that kind of stuff. And we talk about some of the conventions we've experienced over the years. I've gone to many conventions in 12 years that I've been doing it. Some friends of mine come on and they talk about it every once in a while. We do movie anniversary watch-alongs where if a movie turns a certain age, we do a movie watch-along where you're basically watching us react to the movie. So it's like Mystery Science Theater 3000 for a new generation. And then people
slow down. We got plenty of time. You slow down.
All right. Well, you asked me who I am, so I'm just trying to give you the best example. But
I know, but you're talking really fast, and my people are probably kind of stuck.
Sorry.
You know what I mean? It takes a minute to catch up. You might be overwhelming them. I'm kidding. You do a crap ton of stuff. I mean, you're always look. Ryan's one of the people who gets it. He posts in the madness whenever he's got something going on, so that I know I can share it if it's something that we're interested in or whatever. He gets it, you guys. But you've done a ton of like anniversary shows, stuff like that. Those are the ones that always get my attention because they show me how fucking old I am, dude. You do a 40th anniversary of something that I remember watching yesterday. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, oops, 40 years. Damn, I was 18 when that came out.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah. So yeah, if you're into that sort of stuff, we embrace the nerd within you. So feel free to tune in. It's a lot of fun.
And what other? I mean, you do interviews, like you said. You've interviewed directors, all kinds of stuff. What's been your favorite? What was your favorite interview out of all of them that you've done?
Jeez, that's like picking a favorite child. That's not right. It's not easy, man, because I've done so many, and I've had some big names come across our studio and our desk in the last few years. So if I had to pick one, gosh, that's hard. That's really hard. But I'll say this: one of my favorites. Can I give you that? I'll give you one of my favorites here.
Anything that stands out that you're like,
no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
You know what I mean?
So, okay, one of our favorite interviews that I've done on And I Quote, which is the flagship show of my channel, hence the reason it's called And I Quote Channel in the first place. Guy Gilchrist was on our show a couple months back, and he is a cartoonist. So he's an artist.
The Muppet Master.
He's the Muppet Master. He worked with Jim Henson for so many years, and he was a close friend of Jim Henson, before, and obviously continuing on his legacy after he passed away, unfortunately. So Guy Gilchrist was great. He had so many great stories to tell us about his work and his collaborations with Jim Henson and everyone at Jim Henson, Productions and all that. And he has this, he has a Kermit in his studio. So he does his impression of it to the best of his ability. And he took the puppet out of Kermit, and he interacted with me as Kermit for like a good 1 to 2 minutes during that show, during that specific episode that I'm referencing here. And that made me feel like I was just 6 years old again. And it was great. And I loved it. And I told Guy how much I appreciated it. I know how much he had fun doing it. And it's one of the best interviews I've ever done. I mean, any question I posed to Guy Gilchrist, he just went on this extended story and got really, what do you call it, like detailed or into the nitty gritty of it, if you know what I mean.
He's easy to interview. He's like, you ask a question, you're not gonna get a one-word answer.
No,
right?
you're in for
I've got to meet him. I got to meet him live a couple times.
Oh,
right?
you did? Okay.
He actually did a short interview with him, and of course, my dumbass called him Gil instead of Guy.
Guy Gilchrist. Yeah.
Of course, he made fun. Dude, he spent the next 2 minutes making fun of me and calling me by everything other than Pops, and he was so funny, dude. I love the guy. I mean, I go to the local cons, and then we do short spots and we put them on the network.
Sure. Yeah.
Even when somebody like that, I make that kind of stupid ass mistake, and he spends the whole spot making fun of me, I still go home and put that up on the net because that's what happened, right? I got made fun of. I got roasted by Guy Gilchrist. How many people can say that?
Yeah, he's a great guy with so many wonderful stories. He's got a big heart, and I respect him all the more for it. So yeah, Guy was, and we interviewed him just months ago. So that was one of my more recent episodes of the podcast. And I didn't, it's unfortunate that I didn't mention this, not so much to Guy, but some episodes later. And I know I'm kind of a little bit jumping the gun here, but I have over 202 episodes now of Van Dyke Quotes. So my 200th episode was 2 weeks ago, and I forgot to tell my guest, hey, you're our 200th, or make a little mention of it. But when I do my show tomorrow, which I got one on Saturday, I'll mention people, hey, we've passed 200 episodes. Whoopee. So, yeah.
You know, it's funny because Laurie went over her 100th episode not too long ago. Doc had his 100th episode like a couple weeks ago, because when we started the network and all these people joined right around the same time. So Stephen B's 100th episode is coming up here real soon. And you know what I mean? It's like I get to keep track because I'm the one that sets the shows up. So I know what episode number we're on, whether they're paying attention or not. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to make sure that we celebrate every one of those. You know how hard it is to be consistent and do this long term. You know, those guys like Doc and Laurie and man, you know, Laurie didn't just come on and do our show. She does shows for anyone and ASAP and she does half of our launch parties now. I don't know how that happened, but she just, hey man, they want me to do a launch party on the network. Okay. You know, hey, if I ain't got to do it, or if I can just be in the background pushing buttons, that's fine with me. But like Avalon closed out last weekend, and he's closing out while I was doing a show, right? So we had two shows running on the network at the same time. Jeez. And he's sending me messages. Where are you, guys? Why aren't you here? And I'm like, so I popped in for like the last 5 minutes of the countdown, right? I'm like, you guys know I'm working over here, right? We open the network up to anybody, man. You know what I mean? If somebody needs to do a launch party or a countdown or whatever, we make it happen. That's fun. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah. What was the last anniversary show you did?
For what do you mean, like movie watch along, or
yeah, the ones where
I just wrapped it up a few hours ago. We did the 30th anniversary watch along for the Shawshank Redemption.
There it is. See, that's what I'm talking about, people. He pulls these movies out and guess how old this one is. Guess how old you are.
Shawshank Redemption's 30. So we did a 30th anniversary watch along for that. My good friend Case, who helped put together my virtual background that you see before you, and my thumbnails, he put those together for me. I'm really appreciative of him. He's a great guy. He's got his own channel as well. He's a good dude. He was on the show with me, and we had a good time with that. And then, it's movie watch-alongs. Depending on the film specifically, it can be it can be a lot of fun, or it can be very chaotic, because we do our best to focus on the programming that we're doing, but we also get caught up in tangents of random shit. So it's funny.
It happens on every show. I don't care.
It does. I don't care how good your programming is. You're going to run into stuff, right?
It's just everything crosses over with everything else at some point. So no matter what your topic is, you're going to have those tangents that slide off the rails a little bit. It's impossible.
I know. We had new people in the chat. I got to be honest with you. We had new people in the chat tonight, which I absolutely love when new people come in the chat. And they were from the Bat family. One was called the Littlest Wayne, and the other one was called like the Oldest Wayne, whatever it was. And they were saying, "Hey, what do you guys think about James Gunn's potential new vision for the DC cinematic universe?" And I'm like, "This has nothing to do with Shawshank Redemption, but nothing to do with it." But Case and I, because I like to be respectful of my viewers and my listeners, I do my best to answer or just say, "Hey, I see your question. I hear what you're saying. We'll address it later on in the show, or we'll just not get to it."
We'll do a show about that later.
See, we can always talk more about it later, but yeah.
I get that we have this one guy, and I love him, but every week during a certain show, he comes in and he will ask about a different something every time, right? Yeah. And it's like, no matter what it is, no matter what the show's about, dude will be like, okay, I'm going to talk about that instead. in the chat and see if I can get people to, I think it's a trolling technique just to see if they can rattle you and get you off topic. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's not like offensive or anything. It's just like, dude, we're not talking about that right now.
We're taking they're trying to take your train off the rails, but it was a good little mini discussion / tangent that Case and I went on. We didn't spend too much time on it because we want to focus on the program at hand. But yeah, we did one for what is it? The Shawshank Redemption was tonight, and then next week we're doing the 70th anniversary of Rear Window from Hitchcock. So yeah,
70th. See, I wasn't even. I was 9 years from being born when that one came out. Okay.
Okay, it's all right. All right, but yeah, Rear Window turned 70 this year, so we're going to be talking more about that next week.
Wow.
I love that movie. It's my favorite Hitchcock film.
Well, I'm still a Birds fan.
That's a good film too. I like that a lot.
I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of stupid, but it's
creepy. It's a very good kind of creepy.
See, for me though, it's like that shit was all funny.
Oh, okay. I didn't really laugh during the movie, but it's a good movie.
Horror movies to me, when I was growing up, all my friends were like trying to out-cool each other when we go to a horror movie, right? Nobody wants to be the guy caught in the jump scare, you know, everybody's like laughing, that's when, you know, the bird's pecking the eye out, and pissing off everybody else in the theater. That's the kind of stuff we did. So you got attuned to it. You didn't all you wanted to do was look for the humor and everything every time you saw a horror movie. And that's how I look at horror movies. I look for the funny parts and giggle my ass off while everybody else is going, ew. I'm going, oh, that's awesome. You know? I'm that guy. What can I tell you?
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, we got some great stuff planned for the rest of this year and the beginning of next year. So we're excited. Well,
like what? Come on, all the way into next year. Give me some.
Well, I don't know if this is. I mean, we are doing a new show because I actually just confirmed this with my co-host because we had this idea a while back, and we're going to act on it when the new season starts. This isn't necessarily nerdy stuff. It's more of a. I never thought I would say this. My friend and I are going to do a college basketball show starting in November when the new season of college basketball starts because he and I are both fans of the sport. So
what's wrong with that? Look, I've been trying to get a wrestling show on the network. Somebody come out and talk about wrestling.
Wrestling,
right?
Yeah. I grew up on pro wrestling. I grew up during those days.
Me too, man. Way back, okay? Because I'm a little older than you. You know,
tad older than me.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, we had the Vern Gagne and Nick Bockwinkel and Andre and Hulk when they first hit the scene and. I remember WrestleMania 3. I remember watching it, So, but yeah, I like that. I want all different kinds of stuff on the network, all the things we love, everything, right?
I wasn't sure if sports really apply to that, but all right.
People love sports, and sports do have comic crossovers.
It's a big business.
Big
business. Big.
There's NASCAR comics. There's all, everybody's got a comic book now. That's the cool thing about doing the comic. It's like everything. There's a comic about everything.
Well, if there's a comic about college basketball, let me know. I'd love to read it.
I'm sure there was probably some kind of North Carolina Tar Heels during the Jordan era. Comic books. Yeah. Probably. It was the 90s, right? I mean, the 80s, 90s. Yeah, man, it's like comic books. Like you said, come on, who was it? Earnhardt. I think there's Earnhardt.
Bill Earnhardt, yeah.
There's
the Intimidator, as he was known by. Mm-hmm.
Lot of different stuff, man.
Okay. Well, if there's college basketball comics I'm not aware of, let us know in the chat. I'm curious to hear your thoughts because I am a fan of North Carolina, but not UNC specifically. I'm an NC State Wolfpack fan.
Let me see.
That's my team. NC State Wolfpack is my team. It's funny though because I'm a Marylander and yet I love NC State. So people would naturally think, "Oh, you're a UMD Terps fan." No, I'm not. I could care less. But I love NC State Wolfpack though.
We got a Stephen Curry.
Yeah, Burke, yeah.
There's a basketball now. The comic book story of basketball. I don't see anything that's saying anything specifically. Oh, here we go. Mike, sports comic books, NCAA basketball favorites.
There you go.
You see, everything. College basketball magazines with Carolina covers. Of course, that's all Jordan stuff. You know? Legit dogs. Graphic novel. Sports superstars. Michael Jordan. Yeah, you know you're going to see those. NCAA GameCube. Oh, that's the game. Okay. Yeah. Popular college basketball books. There is some, you know. That's what I mean. There's a comic book about everything at some point.
There you go.
There's horror, you know, every genre has comic books now because indie comic writers grab everything, you know. So, and they mesh a lot of it together and make weird stuff like Corissa. You know, come on, man. You know what I'm talking about.
She puts out a comic book every 2 minutes.
And they have all the different like monsters. I mean, she's got the skeleton bolsters.
They're all, yeah, she's got
hounds, and
she's got everything that goes bump in the night. That's for sure.
Man. And Animus on top of that. We're getting, you know. Yeah, Carissa. Don't tell her I said so. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's a hardworking creator, that's for sure. So is Laurie. They both are. Yeah.
Well, Laurie's a champ over here. You know,
world champ. Yeah.
We look. I mean, she's my go-to if I need tech support. I mean, like editing stuff or making shorts, stuff like that.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, I mean, she's our production manager.
Even better.
You know, more or less. I mean, she does that stuff if I need something that I can't get done, you know, or I don't know how to do. I'm like, hey, Laurie, can you do this? You know, she's been really good to the network. Love her to death. Carissa's the same way, man. It's like, you know, last year when we were doing the sponsor drive to get the money for a year of StreamYard, right? Corissa popped in at the end. She's got, I got a little bit if you need it. Just enough to put us over, maybe. Yeah. You know, and stuff like that, man. I love what we do. You know, and you know what I mean, coming out here talking about what people are doing and being able to interact with fans of what we do, what we love. You know, it's for all the things we love. The network is just, you know, whatever. We got Brian started out with the Horror Movie Club, right? Way back when. Then it was like, hey, man, I'm going to start doing the Spaghetti Western show. So I'm going to alternate every other week. I'm going to do Horror Movie Club one week, Spaghetti Western Jamboree next week. I'm like, okay, cool. That went on for a few months. Then one day he goes, hey, man, I'm going to start doing the Kung Fu Theater. So it's going to be 3 shows that alternate every other Thursdays. It's awesome, man, because, you know, he's very knowledgeable about the movie. You know, about the directors, who did the score, all, you know, I mean, he knows the stuff. It's not like he's reading it off Wiki, you know what I mean? He knows the stuff. He picks movies that he's familiar with, and, you know, and it's always good, man. Love having him on the network. So what's it going to take to get you on the network? Put you on blast in front of everybody. Here we go.
Jeez. I mean, we'll see what happens, man. Anything's possible in this life. You never know what's going to happen around that corner. So
I do know that. Only reason I'm asking now is because we're finally legit.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, I'm happy to hear that. I mean,
it's the mega.
I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for everybody. That's a huge deal. Congrats. You're legit now. That's fantastic.
The Madness Entertainment Group LLC.
Yes. I believe I saw a post about that somewhere. That's good stuff, man.
Dude, I mean, it's been a lot of work.
Yeah.
Time coming, but it took more than everything I was doing didn't matter until I had the right business partner.
Ah, I see. Well, congratulations, man. I'm happy for you.
Once I got meshed with the right person, it was like everything just started falling in place. Ting, 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 ting. That's the way it's supposed to be. And we have expanded to a couple other networks, and we're, Roku is still the goal.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, like I say, you do a lot of different stuff. When you're trying to get like a director, somebody like that to come on your show, you got to go through the agents and stuff. Is it, because I run into agents that it's like sometimes they just ain't having it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't have time to beg people to come out. But there's a lot of people that I've asked to come out on any of the shows, and like some different people in the network want, like I'll say something, I'll be like, man, I'm talking to this person. Everybody like, I want them. It's like, I can't give them, I can't do that. I can't. How do I choose whose show gets them? So basically, it's just a scheduling thing. Wherever he has time or that person has time, whoever show fits in that time area, that's who's going to get him. Because I'm not going to beg him to be on everybody's show. This, Now, you've been on Laurie's show, right?
Yeah, I've been on once before. Looking forward to my sequel, Laurie, when Ryan returns to your hot seat on the Tuesday morning brew, or we do a because I know sometimes she does pre-recordings for people whose schedules are crazy, which in my case it is because I work overnight. So by the time I get home at 6:30 in the morning, I'm dead tired. So,
right.
Yeah, we may have to do a pre-recording there, Laurie, but I'm open to it. I'm fine with it.
Have you seen Killer Karen?
I don't know. I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. I'm out of the loop here. I'm not familiar with this. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to show you a little clip here.
Oh, okay.
It was at the beginning of you just look at this girl. Look at her real close.
I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
Good acting and then good makeup and hairstyle there, Laurie.
That is Killer Karen. Now, Killer Karen is a show that we started recently. When we were playing the Slaughterville RPG game on the network, Laurie's Karen character and my Dante character kind of took on lives of their own. Now they host a show.
Wow. Well, there are plenty of creators and writers out there that go under pseudonyms. So there you go. You go under two different names.
Well, the whole thing is if you come on the show, you're being interviewed by a Karen, the ultimate Karen, and she don't care about what you're talking about. She's interrupting you, insulting you, misunderstanding what you're saying on purpose. She's a Karen. Okay. And the yin to her yang is the old stoner dude Dante. The show is hilarious, bro. It is hilarious. It's not scripted. It's like we'll pick a couple questions that we're gonna ask the person, and then everything after that is reactionary and designed and just meant to be funny, right? Just ad-lib and cracking up. You watch at the end of the show, you'll see all the times that we had to pause the recording because we busted up laughing, right? The whole thing is just meant to be funny. It's a joke. The guest is in on it. It's, we've done 3 of them so far, and every one of them has been freaking hilarious. Most fun I've had out here in a while.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Good for you guys. That's awesome.
We're actually playing characters. Yeah. It's so different.
Well, acting is fun when you're playing someone who's not yourself.
It's just
I learned in high school when I did high school theater. I've done high school theater and college theater, so I know what it's like to be an actor and work behind the scenes, man. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. We've had a blast doing the show, and the guests now that the guests understand what the show's about, they're coming prepared. Ready for Karen and with props and everything, dude. It's been like I said, this show is hilarious. It's unscripted. Whatever comes out of an hour, it's like an hour of us messing around in character with the guest. Nice. And then she goes and edits it down to about a half hour because you got to take all the break, dude. So many fourth wall breaks, and just all of us just bust up laughing at something one of us will say, you know. But we put all them little bloopers at the end where you can just see that we're having fun. You know, we don't want anybody to get offended like we're messing with their favorite author or something.
Right. No, I get that. That's cool, man. Good on you guys.
It's gotta be, you gotta keep doing different stuff, right?
Yep.
You're in that mode right now. You're getting ready to add a show to your forte,
which is going to be completely different from anything I've ever done in my podcasting career. So yeah, I'm excited. My friend Dave and I are excited. And when the new season of college basketball starts, we're excited to debut the show, and hopefully people will enjoy it and get some entertainment value from it. We'll see what happens. First episode is going to drop sometime in November, but we haven't worked out the details yet.
I was going to ask if you figured out what day of the week you're going to air that.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, my schedule at work is about to change. So I'm going to be working 5 days a week at one job, 1 day a week at the other job, which is a part-time job, just to be clear. So it's going to be on Saturdays, probably Saturday nights, if not Sunday afternoons, guaranteed.
What day did they release the rankings every week? Monday?
The rankings? Oh, man, that's a great question. Maybe it is Mondays. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. My friend Dave will know more than I do because Dave is more steeped in the sports, culture than I am. I'm relatively new to it because I only experienced college basketball for the first time and started really enjoying it last season during the NCAA March Madness tournament. So, and I filled up brackets too for both men's and women's divisions. So that's where I discovered my favorite teams and picked my favorites. And now I'm an NC State fan. I'm also a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan because my family's part Irish. And I have a little bit of a soft spot for South Carolina, but at the same time, like between the two Carolinas, I'm going NC State all the way. So really at the end of the day, it's NC State and Notre Dame that are my favorite teams, but NC State is my number one. Both the men's and women's divisions of basketball, I like both. So
I would go with U of A, ASU, and University of Minnesota are my three college teams.
I respect that.
And that goes across the board in any sport. Those are my three colleges.
Oh, okay. It goes across the board. All right. Got you. All right. Nice stuff, man. Yeah. And believe me when I tell you, when we do the show in November, I'm way ahead of the curve because as soon as I started watching the game of college basketball and I really started to enjoy myself and enjoy it, I went on fanatics.com and I got geared up. So I got NC State hoodie and shirt. I got a what do you call it? A Notre Dame hoodie and a 1/4-inch zip shirt / kind of sweatshirt in my wardrobe. So I'm all geared up, man. Plus I got Notre Dame hat and an NC State hat. I'm ready to go. So
I have an ASU sweatshirt over there from the 1987 Rose Bowl.
Really? Wow.
I still wear that thing too.
Geez, 37 years later. Whew.
I still wear. It was the last time they won a Rose Bowl, man.
That was the last time they won a Rose. Geez, that's sad.
It is.
That's a long time to go without a victory in the Rose Bowl. That's a really long time. Like that's almost as bad as the the Cubs not winning the pennant or the World Series, whatever it is. That's horrible.
Dude. And they've been there a few times. It just
right. It's crazy how some teams are struggling and some teams come to the top. But the best thing about NC State is they had a Cinderella story in last year's NCAA tournament. I loved watching it, witnessing it, hearing about it on what is it called? ACC PM, the talk show on ACC Network. I mean, I loved it. It was so much fun. It was, and by the way, I'm very happy for those teams going as far as they did in the tournament. So because that was the first time NC State, both men and women, went to the Final Four in like 40 years. So from last season, I mean. So I'm very happy for them. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table this season with a couple of new players, a couple of returning players. That's the beauty of college basketball. You get a mix of new ones and veterans. And that's the exciting thing about sports. You never know what's going to happen.
Right. Just want to say hi to all the people watching on the Critical Blast Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Always people watching on Twitter. They like us over there. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I know why. It's because we're promoting cool stuff. That's why.
Yes, I would venture to say so. And it's also good to see Whitefire Comics, whoever that individual is in the chat.
You do not know Doran Corkum, Raquel.
I don't think I do. No.
Raquel. He just today, for the first time, or yesterday, launched his pre-campaign for Raquel #3.
Oh, nice.
Really, really good stuff. I got shirts and everything. Doran's awesome.
Oh,
Also,
congratulations, man.
Did you ever play D&D online?
Tried playing D&D in real life for 2 minutes and I was too confused and I got lost. So I'm not a D&D fan. I'm sorry to say.
They have a video game of it too, right?
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I haven't played it, so no.
Doran and I built a madness guild, a madness, so like you can, if you play D&D, you can actually join the madness over there too. Right?
So many options for this thing.
Hey, wherever, like you said, all the things we love.
Options.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's a few people in the madness that do video game. Like Doc and I will play Champions together.
Nice.
Dorn and I play D&D together.
D&D,
and when we play, we go out and we do it live. We show everybody we're chatting, we're talking while we're playing.
That's awesome. I
like to play Fallout live. Just because, I don't know. All the different versions I've played all of them live, I think, so far by now.
Fun.
There's ones I didn't care for. There's ones I really like New Vegas, which has all the Easter eggs. You ever see Owen and Baru?
You from in the game or
in the game? But
no,
Owen
never.
and Baru. Okay, if you when you're tripping through New Vegas right at the beginning, when they send you over to the town where the Roman dudes have taken everybody over, as you're running up on that town, you come across 2 burnt corpses. And when you lock on them, their names are Owen and Baru.
From Star Wars, yeah. Uncle Owen and Baru, Owen. Then you see the dead skeletons, and you get the boom score from John Williams. It's like, oh, they're dead. And what's Luke going to do? He's sad. He's upset. Gets back in the land speeder, hauls ass back to Kenobi and says, well, everyone I know is dead. I have no life here now. I want to come with you to Alderaan. There's nothing for me here now. I want to learn the ways of the Force to become a Jedi like my father. That is such a great line, man. No, seriously, I love it because, it's unfortunate. Granted, my situation obviously is different than Luke's, but when you lose somebody you really care about, you're like, where do I go from here? Where do we go? Yeah. Right? So you're looking for that kind of, what is it called? Like guidance to point you in the right direction. So when I look at a character like Kenobi, I'm like, yeah, I want to go with you to Alderaan because my family's not really here for me anymore. So I need I need somewhere to go. I need a purpose. So why can't I learn the ways of the Force to become a Jedi like my father was? Who knows?
I definitely didn't. Well, for one thing, he knew they'd become, if he was thinking at all, he knew they'd be coming back and he couldn't stay there.
Right. Yeah. Well, the troopers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Imperial
wasted everybody. They're probably looking for me and these stupid droids.
Droids. Yeah. We don't serve their kind here. What? You're droids. They'll have to wait outside. We don't want them here. Gosh, man. I love that. I love that trilogy. I love it.
That's the whole thing. Dude, those were the movies. I was 13 when it came out.
13. Wow.
I'm one of them people that stood in line 15 times
for hours on
end. That was around the block.
It was all around the street. Oh yeah, all around the block.
Dude, it was crazy. I lived in Minneapolis at the time, and any theater that you went to had Star Wars playing and a line.
It was, man, that thing must have been sold out a lot of the time because so many people were in there to see it.
Well, obviously it was sold out because the line got shorter, but you didn't get in to see it. The line got shorter and you still ain't got in to see it.
No. And wasn't it in theaters for like 18 months back in
the day? But then that first month, it was crazy, dude.
Yeah, first month. Yeah, back in late May, early June of 1977.
It was crazy. Kids were skipping school to go see it in the matinee. It was, awesome. You know what I mean? It was like,
I love those stories.
Yeah, I probably stood in the line to see Star Wars as much as the first 15 concerts I went to.
Jeez.
A
lot of history, man.
Well, a lot of concerts. Holy crap. A lot of them.
But yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I'm and we got plenty of Star Wars content on my channel too. So I love Star Wars. And like you said, and I quote, now
you go in a lot of different directions with that show too. It's like kind of anybody, right? I mean,
more or less, yeah. I mean, I try to keep it focused on, film, TV, or being a vendor at a Comic-Con, because I've interviewed a lot of vendors over the years, with all due respect, as Comic-Cons, the vendors, what do you call it? The independent creators, the artist alley, those are the backbone of those events. Without those, they've lost the backbone.
I wish they were the focus of those events.
True. But what I do is, when I do go to conventions in person, I always do my best to make it to Artist Alley and Creators Alley, and I go up to as many people as I can with the time that I'm allotted, by the way, because there's only so many hours in the day to begin with. And I strike up conversations with them, and I say, hey, I like what you're doing. I think your work is really cool. Would you be interested in being on the show? And obviously I give them, what do you call it? Like the elevator pitch. And I say, this is what I do. If you want to be on the show, you're more than welcome to, but I'm not going to, but no pressure. Because there are some people who are not comfortable being on camera, and that's okay.
Right.
I respect those who are not, but I've actually 9 times out of 10, people have said, yes, I want to be on your show. Let's talk shop. I'm like, yeah, why not? Because you're a fan of this. I'm a fan of it. You like what I'm liking, what you're doing. You like what I'm doing. Indie supports indie. So let's support each other. Why not? It's a win-win, right?
That's funny, because I'll go to the con. I go with Brad Arney. And we go around in the morning. When we get there, we'll run around in the morning and we'll find anybody that's down, who wants to do a quick interview, who wants to do a quick spot. And I'll be back later in the afternoon and I'll do it all, but in the morning, it's like I run around and I schedule a bunch of stuff. And then the afternoon, I run around and I do all the interviews. I don't really get to shop. I really don't. I go there and I work all day, right? But I'm having a blast. And anybody that runs into me will tell you, Henri, all the guys that I see regularly, Dirk Manning, people like that, they're, hey, this is me. I'm having a blast. There's no off-camera pops. This is me. This is who you're going to run into. If you see me at Walmart, it's going to be, this is who I am.
I'm at Walmart trying to buy one of them pops or comics. I'm going to be the same guy you would see at another venue.
Yeah, it's funny, because a lot of people are like, one of the guys. Do you know the guy from Awesome Comics? I think the Comics Awesome, big channel on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the channel. I just don't know who the face and the name. I can't think of it right now, but yeah.
I met dude at a con, right? And I walked up and I'm wearing the vest and the sheriff's badge and the whole, I'm
whole getup. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wearing my whole getup, and he's like, branding, I like it. Now he understood right away, because I was like, I got this little tiny YouTube channel, and you got this huge freaking YouTube channel. And it's like, I just wanted to know how many years he had behind that. Because I didn't know. I've only been doing this for like 5 years. He had been doing this for like 20 years to build that channel to what it is, so you put in the work, people. Sometimes you got to put in the work to get where you're trying to go. Yeah,
you got to hustle. You got to pound it. You got to pound the pavement. You got to make sure you're wearing your branded shirt or your business cards with QR codes on them, by the way, because QR codes are huge. Especially nowadays. Every one of my business cards has my QR code on it. So I just say, hey, you want to be on the show? Here's my information. You just scan that QR code with your phone and you're good to go. If you have any questions, hey, my email address is on the card. Just drop me a line anytime.
Yeah, it's funny. All the business cards I gave out over the last few years, we pretty much need to make all new ones, because everything's all upgraded and different.
I think digital. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like we're at the Meg TV now. We're not
right.
Gmail. We're not, it's like,
different.
It's not Pops Van Zandt at Gmail. It's the Meg TV. It's our own email, our own
right.
Everything, right? Everything's changed, Yeah.
The
website is in development.
Awesome.
And the website will have, the complete guide to all the shows. The stores, anybody who wants in network wants to put their store up there on their page. It's like it's finally all falling into place, Ryan. Like I said, it's starting to feel like what I've been envisioning. So,
that's awesome.
Now, It's funny because you threw me with college basketball.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't see that coming as your new show when you
I
said you had some
know.
new coming. And no, it's cool. I'm just saying I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, believe me when I tell you, when I make the announcement, when Dave and I iron out more of our details of when the show is going to drop, what we're going to be discussing, what do you call it, like the bullet points are going to be, right? It's going to throw people for a loop. They're like, wait a minute. You're not the guy who, because I preach about movies and TV and how I'm a big pop culture fan, but I've never been a sports fan. But nowadays, when it's college basketball season anyway, for those 5 or 6 months, I'm into it, man. Like, I'm watching all the NC State games. I'm going to watch the ACC tournament. ACC Network is a channel I'm going to be doing my best to watch on my smart TV. So it's like, even though I work a full-time job, which is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I got a part-time job on the side where I'm teaching a class about film analysis at my university right now, which is a lot of fun. It's not easy, the hours that I work. Anyone who works full-time knows what I'm talking about when I say this. There's only so many hours in a day. And then when you get home from your job, you're just beat to death and you just want to hit the sack for 9-10 hours straight. And I can't say that I blame you because I'm the same way. But on the weekends, which is when I have my time off from my jobs, it's like, well, you got to make the most of the short amount of time you have because you're going to be going back to work Sunday night, son. So get ready.
It's funny that you bring that up because back in the beginning when I started doing this, a lot of my friends, 9 to 5s.
That's what I want. I'm working overnight. So,
well, but I'm just saying they had an 8-hour day job.
Yep.
They'd come home, they'd art or write or do whatever they do, and they'd have just a little bit of time to try and go out and promote what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that was when I went, I ain't got nothing but time. Tell me what you got going on. I'll promote the shit out of it. That's what I do. Okay. And it just kept snowballing down the hill and getting different and bigger. And we'll try this, let's try that. As a matter of fact, I have a new show that we're going to be debuting here real soon. And it was inspired by a Facebook post by Chris Brown, who was talking about why is there so much drama? It's like he likes this guy and that guy, and why does everybody got to be fighting all the time? Why can't we just talk about good comics, blah, blah, blah? And I thought, well, I need to do a show based on that premise. And it's going to be called What's Your Issue?
Play on words. I like it.
Now, hopefully you come out and you talk about the comic books that's interesting you or your comic book or whatever. But there's going to be that guy that wants to come out and about something, right? Grind my gears. There's always going to be that grind my gears type dude, right? So I have to be careful because I don't want it to turn into a drama show, drama stream. I want people, I just want people to come out and talk about the stuff they love. Is that so hard? Come out and talk about the stuff you love.
Lord knows if you go on our channel, we got a playlist for a lot of different fandoms and discussion topics and properties. So I'm always up for talking about stuff that I love. I'm a fan of a lot of properties just as much as the person maybe watching or listening to this right now is. I grew up on Star Wars. I grew up on, what do you call it? I grew up on Power Rangers because I'm a 90s kid. I grew up on 90s Nickelodeon, 90s Fox Kids, and all these different movies and properties that came out during the 90s or were rebooted or reinvented for a new generation in the 90s, and I love it.
You're same age as my son, huh?
Well, I was born at the tail end of the 80s, so yeah.
Well, he was born in 90, so yeah.
I was born 3 years prior to that, so I was born in 87.
You're a Turtles kid. He's a Turtles kid.
Kid. Well, I did grow up in the animated series, but between you and me, I prefer the live action 1990, 1991 movies as opposed to the animated series. I respect the animated series, but the movies I can watch those 2 movies any day of the week and twice on Sunday, I might add.
I did like the movies.
Oh, I love those movies so much. Oh, which reminds me, I forgot to add this to the list. For next season of 2025's movie watch along, the original TMNT movie from 1990 turns 35. So I know. I'm sorry to tell you this, but some things happen. So yeah, we're going to be celebrating that on the movie anniversary watch along show. And believe me when I tell you, that is going to be Boston Nova. Excuse me, Boston Nova, Chevy Nova? No, excellent. Yeah. Sorry, that's a line from the movie. But yeah, we're going to have lots of pizza and we're going to celebrate Turtles because I love TMNT. I love the first 2 films. I have a bit of a soft spot for the 3rd movie, even though it's the lesser of the 3. But it's, it's still a trilogy, even though 3 is not all that good. But that's nothing against the actors. It's just what they were dealt with. But
Right.
First 2 movies are solid gold, man. I don't care what anyone says. Plus, I've met some of the people who participated in that. What do you call it? The films. I met Ernie Reyes Jr., who was Keno. And he was also in Surf Ninjas. He was also, one of the background actors for the Foot Clan and all that stuff. They did a lot of the stunts.
I didn't get to hang out with Hulk Hogan.
That's even cooler. I've met the Nature Boy Ric Flair, 16-time world champion. Woo! Let's see what else. Who was the other TMNT alumni that I met? Oh, I met Kevin Clash, the voice of Master Splinter. Yeah, and you know what he did? You know what he did? He signed my NECA figure of the 1990, iteration of the Turtles and Splinter. And I said, "What was your favorite line from the first movie?" I'm just curious. Like, what is one of your favorite lines, or your favorite one to record? And he says, "Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign it with this one." And I was like, "All right." So he signed it in green on the figure, and you can find this on my Instagram. And he signed it. "I have always liked Cowabunga." Kevin Clash dash Master Splinter, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah." Like that is, that's life, man. That's life.
Yep.
That's a life moment right there.
All right. You said Bossa Nova, Chevy Nova. Yeah, baby. That's me.
Right. Bossa Nova, a Chevy Nova? No.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm so sorry. I love that movie so hard. I love it so hard. Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
That's right. That's right.
I got to get a new route. I thought I delivered everywhere.
Actually, the next movie when they were all in the elevator doing the jam, that is one of my favorite things that they did the whole time.
Really? Wow.
Yep, they all got into it. It was like just waiting for the elevator doors to open.
No, it was funny. It was funny. But yeah, no, there's so many properties I love to talk about. The list is almost endless at this point because I grew up on so many different ones when I was a kid, and there's some stuff that I still like to this day. 30 plus years later, it doesn't matter. If someone walked up to me and said, "Wait a minute, you still watch that?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not, man? It's my inner 6-year-old coming back to life."
Yeah. When people ask you like, "What's your favorite movie?" How do you counter that? Because I know it's really hard to come up with just one.
It's extremely hard. Once again, it's like picking someone's favorite child, even though I'm not a parent, but no disrespect to those that are. Favorite movie.
See, this is how I counter that because people hit me with that kind of stuff all the time, and I'll say, "What genre?"
Yeah, because there's so many.
Yes, because I have a favorite in every genre, and probably I'm gonna have a hard time in a few of those genres picking a favorite.
It's a lot.
But if you have to try to nail, look, I love The Breakfast Club.
Who doesn't? I love that movie.
I think it was like the greatest movie about teenagers. It covered a lot of different psychological corners of teenage of high school, right?
Yep. Personalities.
Yeah, it's like Fast Times was funny. Breakfast Club was educational.
It was real. Yeah.
It was real. Yeah.
It was very good, by the way. And it was John Hughes. For me, it's John Hughes' best picture. And not only that, sorry to tell you this, but next year it turns 45.
See, and that's longevity because it's still one of my all-time favorite movies.
Or 40th, excuse me, 40 years old. I'm sorry, because it came out in 85. 85 plus 40 is 2025. So never mind. It's 40. Going to be turning 40 next year. And yes, we are going to be doing a watch along for that one because it's John Hughes' best film, in my opinion.
See, and people laugh at me when I say it's one of my favorite movies, but then they go watch it. Then they go watch it again, right? And it's
I've watched it twice in the last few weeks.
Anytime I'm scrolling and I see it, I'm watching it. Hopefully with not all streaming services let you back it up to the beginning.
Yeah, but Movies Anywhere, I have that, and there's a lot of movies there, so I'm able to watch it whenever I want, which is great, including the other 80s classic, Back to the Future. That's another one of my favorites.
I've been trying to find one. Have you ever seen the original Last House on the Left?
Still have not seen that. I got to see it, though, because I've heard good things.
Dude, that's the only movie ever scared me when I was a kid. That was because it wasn't supernatural. It was like just regular people that could do regular evil shit to each other. I was like,
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say, but look forward to seeing it when I do have an opportunity to do so. Because man,
if
my
you
list.
find it on some kind of streaming service,
Yeah,
really
I'm
let
with
me
you.
know.
No,
Because
I'm with you.
I don't pay for streaming services.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll let you know if I find it somewhere. Yeah, see what I can do, as they say.
I mean, Roku's really nice to me. It's got most everything. You don't. I mean, it's like you can pretty much find anything on Roku without paying.
Yeah, the Rambo movies are on there.
Yeah, you can find
First
pretty much
Blood.
anything. I mean, you got to search. I found all the old Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer movies, the Trinity movies and stuff. I go looking for the old stuff that I loved when I was young, and try to find it again. But that movie scared the shit out of me when I was 14 years old. And I was like, man, I need to find that and watch it again as an adult and see if it see if it still has that psychological thing that it did to me, because everybody else was freaked out about scary movies, but it was always some kind of supernatural something. Right? Last House on the Left was just some people did something evil to some family's offspring, and family got hot about it and took care of business. And it was like, damn, took care of business for real too. It was like, ooh, shit. Yeah, that was scary, because it was like, man, them people real. That could really happen.
Yep, and it is spooky season, so yeah.
Might be a good one to watch.
Yeah, feel free to watch your favorite scary movies, folks. Just like Ghostface says, what's your favorite scary movie? It's one of those things. But yeah, favorite movie, gosh, man. I mean, one of them that stood out for me, because I saw this the most times in the theater when it originally came out back in 2015, respectively, Force Awakens. I love Force Awakens. I love it. I absolutely love Star Wars Force Awakens. I don't mind when anyone says. It's just that I love that movie. So
I thought it was A New Hope all over again.
it was, but I don't care, because I still love it. I absolutely love it. I love the movie.
I loved it.
I mean, I like I like the introduction to new characters. I like what John Williams did with his score. I like what Lawrence Kasdan did with the script. I mean, for me, that movie worked. And then a year later, we got Rogue One, which, in my opinion, is the best prequel we ever got, because the prequel trilogy, no offense to those that love it, but it is a mess. It is a very big mess.
And
but,
let me tell you what, the thing that was sucked about Rogue One is we knew how it was going to end.
Yeah, but it was still a great movie. I love, and it
was
was
a great movie. Film. But you got attached to characters you knew were not going to survive to the next movie.
Yeah, sorry, Jen, about that incident on the beach.
It's like, that was the part that was like, oh man.
Yeah,
I'm liking that guy, and he ain't gonna make it.
It was a great movie, and it was a noble sacrifice. So.
Did you read a lot of the Star Wars Extended Universe books?
It's funny you say that, because I got a few of them behind me in my bookshelf. One of them is the Thrawn trilogy that my friend got me.
Ooh, good stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What's the first one? Oh, it's called Heir to the Empire. That's it.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's sitting here. It's like staring me in the face, but I haven't read it yet, which is so sad, because I want to read it, because I've heard nothing but like if you're gonna read any of the the Legends novels, you've got to read Heir to the Empire trilogy. You've got to read the Thrawn trilogy. And I'm like, all right, by Timothy Zahn. I'm like, okay. I haven't done it yet.
Bought the first 200 Extended Universe books as they came out.
Jeez.
Go by the timeline, look at the timeline, buy the books, and read them according to the timeline. Okay, because otherwise you're gonna get in the spot where you're gonna have to go back and get that book anyway.
Well, that's what Amazon is for. Just go get the book. Go get them off of Amazon if you have
to. They have like the timeline in the books.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
So you either in the front or the back, you will see the whole timeline of every Star Wars book, right? Shadows of the Empire.
I played the video game on N64.
Okay, so that fits in between
two episodes 5 and 6.
Yeah. Okay, so you know what I mean? It's like there's stuff that you're gonna want to read before you even get into the extended universe, right? Because that happened during the original timeline.
Right.
Okay, so you're gonna find stuff that, like you say, you're gonna. But my favorites, the X-wing squadron.
Rogue Squadron, yeah.
Wrath
yeah.
Squadron, Rogue Squadron. Those were the things they should have made movies out of.
Top Gun in space.
It had the espionage. It had the space battles. It had every freaking thing you needed for a great movie, and they passed those by. And I didn't get it. It's like you had Wedge Antilles, you had all these characters from
Wedge. Yeah, you had Wedge.
Come on, man. It was like
those.
Yeah, that's what they should have went right into making movies of, man. As soon as those books came out, somebody should have went, but nobody did.
Yeah. Well, you can always go back and read the books or listen to the audiobook if you're into that sort of thing. But yes, I have what do you call it? The Heir to the Empire trilogy. I have what is it? Leia by Claudia Gray, which is one of the newer canon novels. Gosh, what else do I have in there? There's a box behind me that's got books in it that's to be read, by the way.
Yeah, I got it, but
my TBR list is like, it's horrible. It's like 10 miles long, and it's only getting longer because I went on a what do you call it? A shopping spree on Amazon because I got belated gift cards to Amazon. So I spent my coin. Yeah, I know, it's sad. I spent my coin.
No, it's perfect. Look, I tell people all the time, if you're gonna buy a gift, go buy an independent comic. Go buy something somebody put their heart into and worked on. You right? Same thing with books. You give somebody an Amazon card, you know what they're gonna buy.
Yeah, and I did buy some independently written books off of Amazon during this particular episode of Shopping Spree with yours truly. So some of them are, from other publishers, some of them are from indie publishers, and I'm like, hey, I got a variety of everything in this set, so look forward to watching it. Plus, I got DVD versions of some of the Universal monster movies because it's spooky season, and I want to watch Wolfman. I want to watch Phantom of the Opera. I want to watch Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is my all-time favorite Universal classic monster movie from 1954. Turned 70 this year, by the way. And what was the other one? Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera, Creature from the Black Lagoon. What was the other one I'm thinking of right now? Oh, God. Oh, The Invisible Man. Those are my four. Those are my favorite four. Of the original 8 legendary films that were Universal monster movies from Universal Pictures.
Yeah, I'm a Vincent Price guy.
Yep, a lot of people are.
Just love everything he did. He was nuts.
He was nuts. Well, hey, what's his name? Elia Kazan, the filmmaker, and Marlon Brando were nuts together because Marlon Brando, as we all know, was very difficult to deal with on set. Yeah. But hey, I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody, Charlie. On the Waterfront's one of my other favorite movies. That's a great classic Hollywood movie.
Yes.
So feel free to watch that. If you want to know your history of film, watch On the Waterfront. That's a good example. So was A Streetcar Named Desire. That's another good example.
See, and then, it's like, I liked war movies. I liked Westerns. I like, different times in my life.
I like Westerns.
Liked them all, right?
Did you know that Laurie and I did a discussion on Westerns?
Yes, I do.
That was fun. That was a fun show that we did. I liked, by the way, I like how I do, and I quote, collaborations with other podcasters and other hosts of other stuff, because then I get to learn stuff from them that I otherwise would not have known if I didn't hear it from them, or they learn something from me. So everybody wins at the end of the day. But yeah, Laurie and I did this episode on Westerns, and it's got some of the highest numbers in my video history. So thank you to everyone who's watched that episode of A Tribute to Westerns or Western Celebration between Laurie and I, because we went on so many different directions with that. She shared some of hers, I shared some of mine, and then we heard from the audience in the chat. And I'm like, damn, Westerns has got some massive fans out there.
And it does. I have a few friends that have written Western graphic novels recently. Brian Christgau, Mike Barron wrote one that Pat Broderick did the art for.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah. What the heck?
If anyone knows about these things, send me the links. I want to read this stuff.
MikeBarron.com.
There you go. Thank you.
BaronComics.com, I think, is where you can find all Mike's stuff there.
Touche. Got it.
And he's got a ton, dude. He's doing stuff for Ripa. He's got his fingers in everybody's pie, man. Mike Barron's amazing. The Nexus, he's still doing Nexus stuff with Kelsey Shannon. Every time you turn around, Mike, we're doing something else. He just now talking about his new Sherlock Holmes graphic novel.
Sherlock Holmes. There's a character that's been around for a hot
Written
minute.
by Mike Barron.
Jeez.
This is going to have layers to peel, right? Mike Barron is a thinking man's writer, so you know.
Sherlock.
He's one of those guys, man. You're reading this stuff and you stop and you go back 3-4 pages and read that again because you just realized that you glossed over something or you missed something entirely, right? Because of double meanings and stuff like that. You'll go back and read that again. Oh, okay, Mike. You know, he catches me all the time, but it makes you read his stuff over and over again. The other thing I like was when people hide Easter eggs in graphic novels and comic books. Look, we paid $20 for a graphic novel. I can read that thing in 10 minutes, right? Unless you're giving me a reason to focus on every panel. Unless you're giving me a reason to study every panel. That doesn't mean put Easter eggs in every panel. That means put enough Easter eggs in your book so I'm looking for them in every panel. Now I'm going to get my money's worth out of this book because I'm going to spend a little time looking at this book. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Comic books, you can read them pretty fast. They're 10-minute reads, right? You know?
Yep.
10-minute reads. It's hard to. It used to be really easy to drop a quarter on the counter and walk away with a comic book.
I remember when these things used to cost me a nickel. Nowadays, they cost like $35 plus tax because we have.
This is what I'm saying. Give me my money's worth for time. Give me enough that I'm gonna spend some time reading. Make it good enough that I'm gonna read it again.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I haven't done this yet, but one of the series I really like that's indie comic related, just to give everyone some context, I really like Rob Multeri's Nightwolf.
Oh, yeah.
I love his theory. I think Nightwolf is brilliant because it's relatable, it's understandable. It's like, you know, it's like these different mashups of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets, you know, what happens if you're destined to become this werewolf like the Wolfman was, like Lon Chaney Jr. and Claude Rains was back in the day. It's like, what would you do with that kind of power? Would you use it for good? Would you use it for evil? Could you handle it? Can you handle the pressures of it? I mean, those are very difficult questions to answer. But Rob, at least as far as I know, Rob's done a really good job of answering it. And by the way, Rob, I saw your promo for your. First of all, you got a new Kickstarter coming out in a week or so. And then you got the trade paperback of issues 4 through 8 of Nightwolf, which, by the way, I cannot wait to get my hands on that thing because Nightwolf is cool. And I've always been a fan of wolves because I grew up on the NWO Wolfpack, brother. Yeah. So I am a massive.
It's red on black, bro. It's red on black all day long.
True. I've been a Wolfpack fan since way back in '98. But when he mentioned to me that he's doing a series called Nightwolf, and I saw the logo and I see, you know, kind of what he's doing with it, I'm like, dude, I freaking love this. This is awesome. Like, this is right up it's a coming of age story to a degree, right? So I have no problem with that, you know, because we all know what it's like to be an outcast in high school. We've all been there. We've all had those feelings. So I like the characters. I like the panels. I like the colors. It's everything that Rob and LoneWolfComics.com, by the way, are doing is more phenomenal. And we've had Rob on the show a couple of times in my podcasting career. One of these days, Rob, I'm going to see you at a convention. I want to meet you face to face, look into your eyes and say thank you and say congratulations. Because I know I've said it before in DMs because he and I message each other here and there. But Rob, I'm looking forward to the day when our paths cross in real life, brother, because it's one thing to know you virtually and do all these different kinds of things with you. But when I see an indie comic creator that I've interviewed on my show in person, it's a whole different ball game. So
another one, Madeline Holly Rosing, the Boston Metaphysical Society.
Oh,
that's some really good stuff. And she's actually coming to Grand Rapids next month. I get to meet Madeline. I've interviewed her a few times. I finally get to meet her face to face. Dude, I love what I do.
That's the beauty. Well, here's the thing, and I say this to people all the time. And I'm sure you've heard this expression, right, Pops? You've heard it many times in your career, in your life. If you love what you do, it's not called work.
Yeah.
Period. And I love what I do. I love everything we're doing on my channel. I love everything some people are doing on their channels, respectively. If you love what you do, it's never called work. Because, you know, I've had a few people in my life ask me, like, damn, man, like, how many shows you going to do over there on that channel? Because you do a lot of shit. I say, yes, it's my passion. It's what I love to do. I can do it. Why not? And I have people, you know, I have my friend Case helping me behind the scenes. And that's great because I'm a one-man army hosting and producing the show, but I do have help behind the scenes helping me put together the thumbnails and some of the other things we're doing behind the scenes. And Case is a great guy. Follow him on the Dutch Star Wars guy on YouTube. He's a good man. I mean, because we're both nerds and we both, have passions for stuff, right? And that's what drives us. So, I mean, look, I can sit here all night long because it's way past my bedtime. Just kidding. I'm an adult. I have no curfews. But I love what I do. When it comes to podcasting is what gets me through my darkest hours, because I'll be honest with you, my full-time job is not easy. It's not easy. It never is. But when I come home and I teach my class on Fridays with my students at my university, which is great. I love it to pieces. And then I do my show Friday night, and then I do another one on Saturday. And then I, do my other stuff and just have my free time, like my me time, if you will, time on the weekends when I'm off from work. It balances itself out. You know what I mean? Like, you got your work, but then you got the stuff over here that you love, right? So you gotta find a balance, because if you don't, you're gonna be in big trouble, as one might say.
Now,
but
I will say, I do consider myself putting in the work. Okay, I do consider what I'm doing work, but I love putting in this work. You see what I'm saying? I mean, since the idea for the network came to us and we started building this thing, it's been about 2 years now, right? That I've been able to put together enough people that I'm confident that we can go forward. And there's always going to be these people they're on time. They're weekly content. They're consistent. They're people I can count on. I don't have to worry about people flaking out every other week. I ain't going to be there this week. Can you play a replay? With the people we have in the network now, that happens rarely and only on, like, hey, if somebody's getting married, I ain't gonna be mad because he ain't here, right? That was last week, comic artist hour. So I played a replay, and dude went and got married, and everybody's happy, right? But they're consistent. I love the people in my network. They all get it. They understand what we're trying to do. They want to build a network too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, consistency is the key in whatever you do. So
it is, without a doubt. Yeah. And like I said, you got Laurie just went over 100. Doc just went over 100. Stephen B is about to hit 100. Silverline's probably way over 100. They've been with the Silverline, been with the network the longest. Rolling Man, Silverline Comics. They've done 3 shows a week,
which is insane. I've had him on my show. Roland, he's got that accent. Make mine Silverline.
Yeah.
Roland, I love you, man. He's getting up there in age, but it doesn't phase him at all, because he still acts like he's 25. Looks like he's 30. But listen, all due respect,
Way back to the Malibu days.
I know, but in Silverline, they're doing some hot stuff over there, man. They got their own stuff going on, and I respect them for it. And by the way, our heart goes out to everyone infected by Hurricane Milton in Florida right now, because my gosh, 3 hurricanes in 3 months.
Everybody affected
by 3 months, man. That's brutal. You know,
Helene was bad.
Milton was even worse.
Yeah, it's all horrible.
But our hearts.
I got friends down there that are like. I got friends down there that are like, I ain't leaving. We've been through this a bunch of times.
We're gonna ride this thing out. Doesn't matter. My friend and his wife did the same thing. They just rode out the storm, and thankfully they're okay. They got some damage, but they're okay, and that's the most important thing in the world. So, all my Florida buddies, you know who you are. I miss you. I wish you the best. Just stay strong. I know it's not easy, but man,
there are
3 hurricanes in 3 months. That's got to be some kind of record. That's insanity.
There are so many comic people in Florida too.
There's a lot. CGC is located down there too.
Yeah. See, now that's scary, because I ain't sending my books there.
Well, I mean, there are other vendors who do, like, grading for other parties. So
you got to catch them guys at the con.
Which I've done, by the way. I've done that 3 times now.
Yeah, I'm not mailing my books anywhere.
No. I do it in person when I'm at GalaxyCon.
Yep.
Because there's this what's the name of this guy? I forget the name of the gentleman, but it's called One Stop Comic or Grading or whatever it's called. But I give my stuff over to them. They do it. I fill out the forms. I do everything they need me to do. I pay up the money, And a few weeks later, I get my book in the mail, and I'm like, "This is beautiful. Thank you. My book got a higher grade than I thought it was going to get. So yay! Everybody's a winner." In fact, I got Rob Multeri's issue #1 of Night Wolf, graded at a 9.8. You know, which he had for sale like at his booth, so I was able to, I got it through other means. But yes, it's in my collection, in my storage unit. So there you go. Love you, Rob.
I'm looking forward to creeping up on Dirk Manning and getting a copy of that. What is it? Homesteaders?
Homesteaders. Okay.
It's also a werewolf book. It was drawn by Les Garner.
Werewolf. Okay.
Drawn by Les Garner, but it's like a Western werewolf, I think, like back in like the old West type.
Western meets werewolf lore. Shut up and take my money. I want to read this thing. Send me some links, guys.
Oh, geez. Dirk Manning, man. This guy, you know who he is, right? You know who I'm talking about, right?
I believe so. I think I've seen it once or twice.
This guy.
Everybody, Dirk Manning here, the writer and creator of numerous comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Made But Not Dead, all kinds of stuff. And I am super excited for you because you are getting to watch right now, right this moment, out of all the things we're going to be doing, you're getting to enjoy and revel in the Madness Comic Network. And that is awesome. Thank you for being here.
Talk about enthusiasm.
Hold up. The funniest thing about that is he said that whole thing, and then he got them. He said, "Comic Mad." He didn't say Madness Comic Network. He said something else.
Right.
And I was like, "Dude, that was awesome, but you can't use it."
Can't use
So
it.
he did it all again, right? And if you look at the guy sitting in the booth next to him with his head down, you can see him laughing because he just heard him do this whole thing twice, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you look at that dude sitting there with the space down, that dude ain't making no money. Burke standing up the whole time, talking to people, interacting with people. If you look past that dude sitting in the next booth at Kaylin Smith, she's up, she's moving around, she's talking to people. If you're tabling a con, people, put the phone down. If you're not sliding somebody's credit card, put the freaking phone down.
Right.
Interact with them people walking by, because if you're looking down, they ain't looking at you. They ain't looking at your stuff. I've seen it too much. Walked too many floors of cons and seen people, you know who's getting the action. That's the people that are in. Have you ever seen Henri on the floor of the con?
Well, not in person, no.
Oh, dude, he is lit up. He's out in the aisle. He is talking to everybody. Henri is amazing, dude.
Well, I hope to meet these individuals in person one day at a convention if I'm able to make it. There's a lot of goals I have going into the next couple of years. I want to meet as many people as I've interviewed on my show as possible.
Where are you at regionally?
I'm in Maryland. I'm in the Northeast. So I'm in Maryland, north of Baltimore. So I'm not far from BCC, which I know just occurred a few weeks ago, which, don't get me wrong, Baltimore Comic Con's on my list, but it seems like it overlaps with, and that's the other thing too that's unfortunate about conventions, is that a lot of conventions overlap with each other on certain dates and certain venues and certain times. So it's hard to pick, which one should I hit up, which one should I stay home for, whatever. But Baltimore Comic Con is definitely on my list because a lot of the people I know, Timothy B. Fling's out there, Rob's out there, some other people that I know over there. So it's like, man, I got to get myself out to BCC because it's my backyard, literally. It's 30 minutes away from me. Well,
half of our network is like sort of kind of merged with a couple other networks, like bounce off each other. They put a show over here, we put a show over there, that kind of shit, right?
Right.
One of them is the guys from the Dorkening. They run a network like ours, ton of different shows, bunch of different platforms that they're on. But the two guys, Ben and Jeff, run media at like a half a dozen cons in the Northeast.
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm saying? It's like media. We all talk to each other. We all get to know each other. Before you know it, you're tabling where they're tabling. You see what I'm saying? This is what networking, this is what I do. This is what I try to do, is get everybody on the same page moving forward. You know, if we get your network, the Dorkening Network, our network, we got 100 shows.
That's a lot of shows, man. That's like TV Guide channel on steroids.
That's when you go to Roku and you have a live channel as well as view on demand stuff. Yes,
and I respect that, and I wish nothing but the best for you and your team, because I think that'd be a lot of fun to see.
That's the whole thing. I like look at it and it's like, it doesn't have to just be us. Anybody that wants to bring a show to this network or wants to merge what they got going on with what we got going on.
Well, speaking of basketball, you got to go big or go home, man. So
anything, wrestling shows, review shows, I don't care. I just want more stuff. More stuff. Then we got our new West Coast fans. Timescales is a new friend of ours.
Hey, the Timescales, what's up?
I'm gonna be doing something with him on one of his channels here, or on his channel here real soon too.
Greets from San Francisco, home of the Golden Gate Bridge.
And you know, just expansion, bro. Different platforms to go to, and you know, more shows, more platforms.
Well, you know what they say, right? The possibilities are endless.
They are, especially now that it's actually legit.
Yeah. Yes.
Look, my hands were tied before. I had people that wanted to throw investment money at me, and I had to say no. Wait until we get this thing where it's legit.
Right. A few details ironed out.
Money. You know, even if you know I'm using it for what I say I'm going to use it for, it's not legit. You want to invest in this, wait till we make it legit. Then you could throw me some money. I can give you a contract. We can have a return on investment type deal, whatever. Now it's legit. We can do that. You know, so all the possibilities now are endless.
That's very true. Wow, they actually say they can see the Golden Gate Bridge right outside their house. That's awesome.
Yeah, he lives in Alcatraz, bro.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was going to say. Wasn't there a movie set about Alcatraz called The Rock, where Sean Connery broke out of the Rock and then he has to break back in to save some captured hostages with Ed Harris holding the trigger?
Nicolas Cage, bro.
Nick Cage. Don't you mean Stanley Goodspeed? Well, of course you are. May I suggest a haircut? Am I out of style? Well, unless you're a grunge man from Seattle. Grunge? Yeah, it's a music thing, but we'll talk about it later. Sorry, I've seen The Rock a couple times. It's a fun Michael Bay film. Especially when he drops the line on Nicolas Cage. Was it Sean Connery? Remember that interaction with them in the tunnel when all their comrades have been killed off or defeated and everything? And then he says, you know, this is all we got left. He's like, I'll do my best. Your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. Carla was the prom queen. Really? Yeah. It's just, come on, man.
It's always fun, man.
It is. And that's why, that's why I love quoting movies, because, I've seen so many. I tend to remember random shit.
That's awesome. See, I can't remember yesterday.
It's okay. It's funny because with my abilities, I watch a movie once or twice, and 9 times out of 10, the whole script can go right up here and I can recite it back to you word for word. I kid you not. I'm not even kidding when I say that. No, not Alcatraz, Pops. Oh, geez, you're giving away your address?
You don't have to dox yourself, bro.
I was going to say, that's not a good thing to do on social media, but
you can remove that comment if you want.
Yeah, you might want to ixnay on that comment there, buddy. But yeah, no, it's movies are fun. I've loved movies since I was 3 or 4, and I have no regrets. So, and that's one of the things I love talking about on my channel is movies.
And it's always fun to watch. I don't always chime in because
you're busy.
When it's I'm working all the time. I got stuff going on, but if I got something going on, I'll put it on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like your show, like I'll put it on the TV in the background and I'll do my thing.
There you go.
Especially when you got our people on, or Laurie or Rob or anybody that I know, I'm tuning in because it's I consider them our people.
Those are our people. Yeah. No, I get it, and it's fun, and if you miss something, that's what replays are for. So you're always welcome to go back and watch it later.
It's hilarious. You set up a show, you do the description, you set the show up. come out here after the show, you break up shorts to play later. You know, you put up a schedule of shorts every day so that you get used to staying on that schedule. People know you got going to be releasing a different short at, 2:00 in the afternoon, 8:00 in the evening. You get that schedule, you stick to all those schedules and things start working for you. Hopefully you got good content in there, but then when you're making the shorts, you link it back to the show it came from. So somebody watches a short and they go, "Oh, that shit was interesting." They can just click the link and go right to the show and watch the whole show, right?
Yeah.
So you're working before the show, you're working during the show, you're working after the show.
Mm.
Then you realize you got 25 shows.
Time scale says I live everywhere. Hey, if you're living in multiverses or different locations, more power to you there, time scales. Jeez.
Oh yeah, he has a wife who's Japanese. They spend a month a year in Tokyo with her family.
Wow.
Dude, he's pretty cool. I had a good time talking with dude. It's like we were having a meeting, and then he's like, "I want to interview you." I thought we were just having a meeting. So we went and talked for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And then it was like,
good amount of time.
I said, "You go ahead and put together, some questions. We'll do that interview anytime you want, but gave him a chance to get to know me a little bit, so he has some idea what kind of questions he wants to ask and whatnot, but yeah, probably going to have him on our show too, just because I want to get down deep into what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about spreading the knowledge, spreading word of mouth. Still the best salesman. No matter what you're talking about, word of mouth is still the best salesman. Somebody told somebody else, "Hey, man, that worked really good. That show was really good. That product's really good." And then people go check it out. Social media is just an amplified version of the word of mouth. Use it. That's what we do, But yeah, they go all over the place. They go to Japan, and they, it's like they don't go as tourists because they got family there. They go hang out with family. That's kind of cool.
Wow, I used to work for ZZ Top. Holy cow, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Because speaking of TMNT, the first song you hear in TMNT 3 Turtles in Time is "Can't Stop Rockin' by ZZ Top" during a training montage. And that's how I personally was introduced to ZZ Top's music.
My favorite ZZ Top song is a little ditty called "Arrested for Driving While Blind."
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on the Tejas album.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if the time scales comes back knowing what that one is.
Jeez. Yeah, well, one of these days maybe I can get time scales on my show. Who knows? Possibilities are endless.
There you go.
More than welcome to be on And I Quote, man.
There you go.
I got spots open for 2025. I mean, spots are starting to fill up, but I still got plenty of spots left for 2025.
This is what we do. It's all about networking. So time scales, if you want to get with Ryan, I will make that connection for you. Let me know.
Yeah, networking is very important, and I have fun doing it, especially when you're at conventions. It's a lot of fun to network at conventions because that's how you really dig your heels in and do the legwork because you're literally walking all day.
It's funny because then you got 60, 70 people you want to talk to.
Yeah.
All in one building, and you're trying to have time
for all of that.
Talk to as many of them as you can. And it's
not easy.
There was one time where Henri was there, and we saw each other, right? And he's like, "Pops!" And I'm like, "Henri!" And there's a bunch of people around him, so I wasn't going to mess with him, right? And then, for some reason, Brad and I walked all over that floor. We could not find his booth again. I don't know why. I swear to God, we walked the whole floor. We could not find Henri. I never got back to him to get that interview because I couldn't find him. Where'd go? But usually he is crowded. He has a crowd of 10, 20 people standing around while he's doing his thing. He's entertaining. at the table. He's fun to watch. You can just stand back and watch Omri for about 10 minutes before you even let him know you're there, because it's fun to watch. He knows what he's doing, sells out books all the time when he's at cons. So what's that say?
Wow.
All right. All right.
Records in LA. Wow. A lot of history there for you, Timescales. A lot of history. Look forward to seeing how your interview goes between you and Pops here pretty soon.
Oh, he's interviewing me. I'll let you interview him. How's that? I'll let you interview him. I'll let him.
Exactly. It's an even keel type of thing. Everybody wins.
That's what we try to do. It's been 90 minutes, Ryan. I'm gonna let you go to bed, bro.
Yeah, I've had a long week. I've had a long day because I got off work at 6 a.m. this morning, took a cat nap, went to my class from 2 to 4. Then I came home, had dinner, did my 7 o'clock show, and now I have this. So it's been nonstop. Everything is nonstop. You're hustling. Your energy is tested. So, but yeah, this was fun, man. Thanks for having me. This was
in 6 hours. In 6 hours, I will be getting in a car to drive an hour and a half to a junior football game.
Jeez.
Yes.
All right. Well, enjoy yourself. I hope you
has a
enjoy
game in the morning.
I hope the weather's good for you.
It won't matter. Isaac has a game. I'm gonna be there, bro. I love watching my grandson play football. He's good. He's
awesome.
good. He's good. I love watching it.
It's that time of year, man. So, hey, you know what they say, right? Clear eyes, full hearts can't lose.
There you go.
What can I say? I love Friday Night Lights. It's one of the best TV series of all time.
Yeah, there you go. Ryan, it's always good to see you, bro. I dropped this link tree up there in the chat somewhere. It's right there. It's right there. It's also down there in the description, guys. You want to get a hold of Ryan or be on Ryan's show or have him on your show, whatever you know. He's got some good stuff, man. Go check out his channel. It's just like us. It's like you're gonna find stuff you like there. Okay.
We do our best. We do our best to entertain. In the words of James Bond, we aim to please. So yeah. That's right, man. Grew up in the Pierce Brosnan era. Love it, Pierce Brosnan. We're glad you got to catch this tonight, Timescales, because you just said in the comments earlier, Ryan, you're in good company. Well, that's just awesome. Well, feel free to send me a DM, get in touch with me, or am I on X? I mean, yeah, but it's under my other. I'm on Twitter, Ryan RPM5. It's all there in my link tree. The link that's in the description of this episode and what Pops just put, it's all there, man.
There you go. And if you can't find him, I'll hook you up, bro.
Yeah. He'll take care of you. We got you. We got you, man. No matter what. And hey, a West Coaster and an East Coaster coming together. That's the beauty of the interwebs.
Yeah, you bet. I got to play a couple of our wonderful sponsor ads on our way out because without them, we ain't shit, Let's see. We played hers and we played hers and we played. Oh, we got Cindy Koepp. We got to play hers and we got Unpopular Studios, Christian. Do you know Christian?
I think I do. Maybe. I don't know. We know so many people I can't keep track of all this stuff. Am I going to see you tonight? I never make plans that far ahead. Well, where were you last night? It was so long ago, I don't remember.
See, that's my problem. People like, it's like, dude, I interview so many people. There's no way that I can remember when I know I interviewed that guy. How many times on what shows? Yeah, forget that. You're going to have to go find that yourself. Way too many.
But thanks for having me.
You bet, man. It's always good to see you again. Everybody, we got some sponsor stuff, and then I'm out of here tomorrow night. Stephen B. Boldcat Studios draw stream right here, 7 o'clock. And I think we're replaying the interview with Valerie Ocargio. I can't even say her name. I don't even. But she was on John's Long Box the other night. We're gonna replay that for you if you missed it. So there you go.
Yeah, get some sleep, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Manamana. Take a look at Cinema.
Who am I, you ask? I was created in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the waste of a dying world. I was bestowed with an insurmountable task: bring peace after decades of death, persecution, and chaos. I am a grandchild of war, destined to help two camps which hate has fueled for far too long. Surprisingly, I am not alone. Have an odd bunch to make the road a little more bearable. Come with me, to bring hope where there was despair, respect where there was resentment, creativity where there was destruction. I am Pinocchio, and this is my story.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands and brakes.